going to talk about throughout. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, it is one more time today, at least for us, 2 more times here on the stream, but it's the first best of 3 here in the run up to Rio. There's 2-0 stage. It's FaZe taking on Sprout, map 1 of Ancient. FaZe starting on that CT side. They are ready for all the goodness here. And as we jump straight into the pistol, it's straight into the action. And it's straight into Refresh and broky and everyone hitting the deck. It's finding kills. It's Sprout that get a bomb plant. It's slaxz hitting 1-taps. But ultimately, it's FaZe that walk away with a man advantage. Rain's going to be quite low. slaxz still fighting for his life. But ultimately, this is no position to settle down for. As Staehr and slaxz both with kills. Twist now in the clutch. Finds the first. Staehr, his position compromised from earlier on. Twist seems to have a good idea, not to mention he's picked up a kit as well. It's only a 5-second stick. Staehr, do you dare test Twists in this scenario? He checks ramp, it's clear. I've got the 5 seconds, I'm going to hold. Taps it once, taps it twice, and Staehr taps the head of Twists. It's the pistol round for Sprout.
Great start, really great start. An electric start. We mentioned this was an electric game in terms of the stakes at hand, and to go straight into a bomb plant and a really fast, aggressive pistol from Sprout, that's how you open up a T side. You know, for Sprout as well, they need to kickstart things really quickly. We saw Bait do it earlier against Fnatic. That's how you set up the foundations for a brilliant map performance. A strong T side. We mentioned, statistically speaking, this is the most CT-sided map, and by a long way as well. By setting up a great T side, it opens the door up for them taking their map pick. So far, so good. FaZe limited down to just pistols. For Sprouts, a good amount of rifles on display.
Yeah, it's the pick and mix of pistols here for FaZe Clan. ropz opts in for the 5.7. The rest of his team going for deagles, and maybe illustrating why that 5.7 is just as good in these scenarios. The one-shot headshot from close range, it just gets lethal, man. It's so scary to play against. I hate the 5.7 for that reason, because it never seems to shoot as straight as when I pull the trigger on it. Rain,
Agreed.
Getting dinked up. Got to be careful here a little bit towards Cave. Zyphon just going to try and issue some dominance. Some alpha Zyphon energy being used. Smoke from karrigan just to create some distance here. These deagles trying to keep these rifles at bay.
But now, slow approach, twist. That is sumptuous there. Good night, Sunshine, as he's put down the Eagles. The pistol's causing problems. Twist going to take face once further. Pop shot will come through and he'll fall away.
Playing the co-op angle, mate. You know,
yeah.
That's the British reference. If you're not British, unlucky, mate. You're missing out. Deagle spam attempted. karrigan from behind. It's 2 with a deagle for karrigan. And it's lauNX in the 1v4. Mac 10's deagles, it doesn't matter. Numbers are going to be such an issue right now. lauNX, he's able to cypher out 2 though. And he's able to scoop up the C4 from the back of it. 20 seconds as he darts through Donut. Going to be given a little bit of space to work with. Bomb in his pockets, and he's able to set it down. Do FaZe allow it to happen? Tapping away as ropz is Mac 10. And it's 2 AKs collected and an equalizer for FaZe.
Yeah, FaZe have converted something out of nothing there. Individuals stepping up with the pistols. We already mentioned about the great deagle shots, but it's showing nerf the 5.7. That gun is so good. It's so yeah. Good. At close range, that the amount of success that it finds, it's just unbelievable to me. I mean, what a gun. But fair play. FaZe Clan, first run on the board for them, and they immediately halt the momentum and the start by Sprout with such a statement of a round. Low buy makes no difference, and it forces Sprout back onto an eco.
Well, you say an eco, they've actually gone for the force buy here. It's Tech-9s, deagles, they're going to try and throw everything back in the faces of FaZe. karrigan, messy spray, finds the first. It's Rain to pinch one away. In fact, switches to the sidearm. Not going to be good for any more, but they do their job in delaying the plant. Staehr, he was the big man throwing all the util, and he is the only man left here for Sprout. broky's going to pluck him out of the sky, and it's FaZe that take a second.
Yeah, clean. Nothing really too much to be said. Of course, that has kind of, I guess, some longer-term implications over towards Sprout, with now, of course, their economy is in a little bit of a dire state. They can't really afford to force once further in. I think it'd be extremely risky to do so, yeah. Stick around the 2K mark. It gives them some stability in towards their economy going further, and it means that they have the ability to at least kind of test these rifles over towards FaZe Clan. For now, though, once again, just that low buy. The priority is a bomb plant, but even that's tough to get.
broky getting inventive in middle here, sitting behind the Molotov, waiting for the incendiary to burn away. Effectively, he has the whole of the middle of the map to himself. For Sprout, waiting, expecting aggression, expecting someone, somewhere broky could have been the man. He makes a step. Look, everyone from Sprout's like, dude, he just stepped in middle. Just hold it. Wait. He's going to push, surely. broky knows better than that, though. And he does not give Sprout a single inch to work with here. 45 seconds just burnt away. One looking at another.
Yep.
ropz holding things down. broky could get challenged. Zyphon, he's the first to step up and the first to fall. A second, a third. Yes, it's all good for broky. Looking for the quadra. Deagle spam. It's not quite the headshot, but the body shots amalgamate. It's a third on the board for FaZe, and broky makes it look easy.
Yeah, one step and all the attention diverter. You know, if you ever watch a nature documentary, like meerkats, like, you know,
wild broky.
David Attenborough comes by, but really nice. And I mean, it's so simple, right? It's only pistols. We don't need to delve into the details too much, but the fact that it's not made even remotely expensive, it is really kind of the priority, where for FaZe Clan, we're starting to see them step up in terms of seeing out rounds in a comfortable factor, not letting them slip like we saw Sprout do earlier. That's risky.
Ooh.
Costly, in fact, towards ropz in terms of the initial damage dealt to him, but Zyphon down to 38.
It's a brilliant HE. More to the point, Sprout have mid-control, but they're punished for it. That's what they're looking for. FaZe Clan taking things slow. Rain looking for an opener refresh. Whoa. Millimeters away from taking the head off Rain's shoulders. Gonna go for a second attempt. He's making all the noise, checking all the angles. But does he expect Rain? No, he does not. First kill in favor of FaZe.
What about start? Refresh to 4. That's the IGL out of commission. And now, of course, opens up the door for Twist to find one more. slaxz to 4. ropz had another to his tally. And with Zyphon dropping, Staehr to follow, it is just one by one dominoes dropping on the field that is Ancient, and Sprout left it down to the youngster. lauNX, not going to find too much. Now, I had a conversation with lauNX prior to this game, and we were kind of, you know, deliberating, and so, you know, what's the best way to pronounce his name? Is it lauNX? Is it lauNX? But no, I dropped him a message. It's lauNX. So for many of us,
FNX fan.
Yeah, that's exactly how he said it. It's like FNX, but instead of the F, it's law. So I think the majority of it, I would say a strong 90% of people were saying, you know, lauNX or lauNX, right? It was one of the two. No, not many people were saying lauNX, but there we go. That's how you pronounce it. It's lauNX.
There you go.
Fun facts with Neo. The more you know. The more you know. Gets one, though. I mean, that's a positive. But all things considered, pretty comfortable. FaZe, make it a 4th.
He's playing the better game. You know? Throwing shade. Ooh, FNX. Bad man. No worries. lauNX holding down with a Tech 9. The pistols here for Sprout. They're smoked off from the double doors on B right now. Second smoke, keeping them further at bay. Sprout playing a really slow game here. This kind of reminds me of, you know, maybe an Outsiders or an RV approach where we really rely on the mid-rounding rather than fast pushes, trying to catch FaZe off guard. They tried that in the previous with the rifles, and FaZe were able to extinguish everything Sprout threw at them, despite picking up the pistol as well. Bear that in mind. They've lost 4 consecutive rounds. slaxz looking at refresh. Dude, come on. When do I throw this utility? I'm on the lineup. I'm waiting. I've got smoke, 2 flashbangs. Looking at the grass. Man, someone needs to come and cut the grass. Zyphon. Twist nearly giving out free haircuts. Who I do believe has gone pink hair this LAN. Cool stuff from the big man. He's not going to give out any haircuts here today. Instead, it's karrigan to try and deliver. lauNX going for the bomb plant. Does get out. Rain finding a double through the edges of the smokes. Twists to find the last. And FaZe Clan update themselves to a 5th, making it look pretty easy. Sprout, though, having taken a pretty deep half buy, they are in a pretty good position, right? Bomb plant, all the extra trimmings, AWP included, everything going to be looking good for them here in round number 7. They need to punish FaZe because that gap is going to start to look scary if they don't win the next. Yeah,
there's a lot of positives to be taken there from Sprout in terms of the fact that they get a bomb plant. That's all they're really looking for in terms of a priority, because it gives them some economy to work with now. In towards round number 7, we see slaxz pick up the big green. That's where we can start to see him do God's work, and supported by the quad AK-47s. It's, you know, opening this conversation of potentially them starting to find a bit of form on their T side. But yeah, you're spot on, right? That question of too little too late starts to ring through in terms of if Sprout can't put up at least a competition on T side, you get very, very cautious. Spam will come through, refresh down to just 15 points. He needs to be careful. Make that 8 off the back of the nade.
It's just brilliant. FaZe are plucking them out with util as well. It's not even like they're taking fights It's Sprout that just wander into those incendiaries, into those high explosives. And Sprout are being punished accordingly for it. Twists, great shot on middle. Brilliant adjustment, Staehr deleted. And Twists knowing this, just going to move away. Got the man advantage, let's keep it. We don't need to risk it. It's Sprout that have to make the move, and eventually they're going to walk into one of our crosshairs. A double push from broky and Rain on Cave, and Twist taken down. That enables karrigan to swing wide. Does find one. lauNX good for another. Another bomb plant would suffice here for Sprout, but ultimately it's a fall by round. That means nothing in the grand scheme of things for the scoreline.
If you can find another addition to his tally in terms of frags, that'll be a real positive. But this is going to be tough. To convert a 1 versus 3 here, the isolation of fights has to be perfect. And with the double AK-47 AWP still in play, and a hell heap of utility for them to kind of use with that dropped on the floor. We see Rain pick up on a Molotov, dropped in towards that ramp position. That'll force lauNX to be a little bit more aggro. Nade to come through. I don't think he'll deny the presence. He finds a double spray down. broky's going to hold down the fort. They say pros don't fake. So FaZe avoid a scare, but it's still lauNX to make a massive dent in towards FaZe Clan. That became too close for comfort.
That's brilliant. I mean, sure, FaZe get a 6th, but at least Sprout make it costly. They make it punctual as well. lauNX with a brilliant double through the smoke. It's a shame that broky wasn't caught off in that, because I think FaZe certainly would have panicked. But ultimately, it's Sprout that have to blow the whistle and call for a bit of a breather. Get the oranges out. Guys, what's going on? We're 6-1 down. Sure, it's T-side Ancient. We know it's CT-sided. We're playing against FaZe. We can't allow rounds to slip the net like that, especially in such prime positions where flank simple things in Counter-Strike are catching us off guard. So what do we have to deliver in round 8? Those 30 seconds go by quick on the server. Sprout, hoping Refresh has formulated a good enough plan to at least start to close on that gap.
The young IGL, of course, new to the role too. He needs to start pulling some weight in terms of his calling to try and pull off karrigan's ability. What a shot from slaxz. Full blind reactions, lightning fast.
Just knew the timing, counted in his head. And actually, karrigan getting caught out through the pillar on site as well. lauNX throwing down some hate towards short. karrigan removed. Twists thinking about holding more aggressively in middle, but realizing his life is better kept to the later stages of this round. broky smoked off from CT spawn. And Refresh to punch in the digits, giving now FaZe Clan only 40 seconds to work with to try and deliver a 7th. Gonna say it again, Brazil 7-1. Quite fitting that we go to Rio.
That is it.
But it's another denial. Sprout are just gonna walk away with a 2nd, and that's more like it. We realise these timeouts, sometimes they can be used effectively. That's another showcase perfectly as to why. Just gotta take those breathers, man. You reset mentally, formulate a new plan. Guys, what do we think? Well, they go aggressive on B. Let me push. Let me catch out karrigan. Let me catch out the mid-pressure. slaxz getting a bit of fortunate timing. It was the kill on karrigan that made this round. And it's the 2nd round that meets Sprout nicely.
Yeah, of course. Casting our minds back towards our first best one of the day, Fnatic bait, right? Where we saw Fnatic use 3 out of 4 of their timeouts on their first half, where they were struggling to find some success. Of course, that was their CT side, but even still, they would call tactical timeouts and they would make no difference, no effect to the momentum. That's better from Sprout. Use that pause, Refresh has a conversation, probably Barry as well too, the coach. Has a conversation and is like, okay, how are we going to pull apart this FaZe side? That's a really good call. With karrigan falling, as you mentioned, that really opened up that site to allow for a post-plant scenario to be set up. And yeah, slaxz does get a little bit of fortune, but hey, luck's part of the game.
Spam. Oh, brilliant from Rain. Knows the lineups. Knows the timings. lauNX. Another victim to Rain's terror. Looking for a 2nd as well here, Rain. Getting a bit cheeky. Overextensive. Twists as well. Caught out of line. Zyphon will punish him accordingly for it. It's a 4 versus 4. A pretty good spot to be in. The wall bang goes both ways. Staehr to come off worse for wear. Flash banged off as well. And ropz to walk away with a man advantage. A very integral couple of fights taking place. And Sprout win neither of them.
Pop shot from slaxz. Not going to find too much. Another no-scope. Just looking for a bit of fortune, but refreshing the backlines finds ropz. That's important with the lurk falling. That opens up that A site. I mean, there's no one there. It beckons a rotation across from broky and leaves the AWP quite isolated. karrigan, the IGL, stepping up for one as the bomb rotates back in towards its crosshair. slaxz needs to be careful here.
karrigan expects this. slaxz would have expected a wander out. He spots the shadow, gets some damage, and the bait and switch works perfectly for Rain. Refresh, having thought he'd safeguarded A and made ease passage with the bomb. Unfortunately, he'll have neither of those things. No bomb plant and no chance of winning this round. It will just be FaZe that walk away with the 7th eventually. It's going to be looking really good here. FaZe clan doing exactly as you would expect. On Sprout's map pick of Ancient, the CT side off to a good start. Start as you mean to go on though, Nao. They can't afford to get too complacent here because Sprout, we always know they're a side, especially in tier 2, they'll have a trick up their sleeves.
Precisely that. 7-2. Lead extended to 5 once further. For Sprout, again, that was a situation in where the lack of map control became very costly. We saw, again, individual step up. karrigan, his call was brilliant. The mid-run adjustment to go aggro down ramp 2, really well played. When karrigan finds one in rotation, brings the numbers back in favor of the CT side. And, of course, this individual brilliant player from Rain. He knows all about those lineups. One of the best sort of cave players we've seen in a long time, right? He's so secure over there. And the way in which he rotates back out as well. You know, when karrigan spots the shadow of slaxz over towards door, it's Ray who actually finds the kill as he rotates back off cave, back over towards ramp to provide a new angle to fight from. Really well played. I mean, you can see how FaZe are approaching this Ancient with a really good showing from them so far. And you got to remember, this is Sprout's pick. This is essentially, you know, their win factor if they want to push this towards a 3rd map, because Nuke's going to be a tough battle for them to find success on.
Yeah, it's difficult. They do have the CT side.
Yeah.
They do have a lot to think about until then, and they've got a whole map to play between it, so Sprout definitely want to be keeping on their toes. Rain going for a similar wallbang. Staehr taking a large chunk of damage early on. I do believe that's to nades, not to Rain spam. Realising, got to get out of the way because Sprout, they do enjoy playing slow in the mid-rounds towards that cave control. lauNX laying down some hate through the wall. It is spammable. The AKs don't do all too much. Got to hit a mean amount of ammunition through there to be able to take down a FaZe clan member. And for Rain, he's just going to try and hold things down as best as he can. A minute on the clock here. Sprout do get that intended control of cave. karrigan to swing out. We'll take the fight. Staehr still walking away with his life. And it's Zyphon to open things up out towards double hall.
Once again as well, ropz being caught in the backlines. He's trying to lurk out towards A main, and it's provided to be costly. This could become a little bit of an issue. Bot flash will come through. That'll force broky off the angle, force him into a very aggro position, but he makes it work. Gets one before lauNX trades.
Twists goes down. lauNX laying down the hate, and Zyphon with another. karrigan taken down, and FaZe clan have had a response. It's Sprout that check off their 3rd in the list. Still plenty more to go. 13 required. FaZe need less. They certainly need to deliver more than what we've just seen in the previous round there. 4 AKs and an AWP for Sprout. For FaZe, this is a buy that shows they're on their last legs. It's twists on an MP9. It's limited utility. It's 1 kit between 5 of them. Some players can't even afford the luxury of head armor. There's so many cutbacks. So many withdrawals of trimmings of things that FaZe would ideally need. Sprout in a good position to capitalize and play the game of chase. karrigan caught blind. lauNX, what better man to start things off for Sprout?
Yeah, the youngster stepping up. Spoke to him only a few days ago about the preparation for Sprout coming in towards this one. And he said he's got a lot of faith in Berry and Refresh and their cause and ability to take down sides, but it's Twists who answers back. slaxz will find Rain. So numbers still favour the T side. Refresh not comfortable to get the bomb down just yet.
Great molly from Twist there, landing on the pillar, burns down, stopping the plant completely for broky. There's a gap in that smoke. If Refresh wanders any further to his left, certainly would be a dead man. Fortunately, he moves right, and that's out of the crosshair of broky. And I think there is a gentleman's agreement here for FaZe. Sprout, you can have 4, but let us save our rifles. It's an AK, an M4, and an AWP, all collected heading into the next. But it's Sprout that now have the game of chase well and truly on. It's a 4th to their name, and the money's starting to disintegrate.
Has to be that early save call. I don't really blame FaZe Clan here. I mean, for them, with their long-term economy in a little bit of tatters, they can't really afford to make a man disadvantage retake work. I don't think it's worth it. So for now, this is the better call. But it does mean, of course, that there's going to be issues in towards this next round where it really opens up the conversation and the door for Sprout to find serious success on their T side. They're at 4 already, which really isn't too bad, all things considered. And with the real possibility of potentially finding a 5th here off the back of the less than opportune buy for FaZe Clan, this does become a very interesting affair in the latter stages of this first half. We were kind of setting things up for potentially FaZe Clan just putting up a dominant ancient performance, but it feels like Sprout have other ideas.
karrigan given the boost for the AWP. Of course, they have to get inventive considering they are on an eco. Let the AWPs do the talking, but it's slaxz's AWP. That vocalizes that Sprout want a 5th. broky now with a little bit more on his plate to work with. slaxz with the boost over the top. broky, what a shot from broky. Deleting slaxz through the top of the box. AWP dropped. 4v4.
What a shot that is. broky,
Oh,
and he makes it get
broky.
one more. Stop it, broky. What is that shot on towards refresh? Gonna fall back off the back of a bit of tag damage, but broky's done enough. Surely he's now massively open this conversation for Sprout falling off the back of a better buy.
And he's still going for more, still firing through that smoke. Sprout gonna regroup their forces. Train your troops to go together. And they'll have a better chance. Staehr certainly needs to come back around towards A. Zyphon looking in towards B. ropz. Oh, ropz a double. And it's FaZe Clan heroics, as you would expect. The AWP and the M4s just working in unison. broky opens things up. ropz slams the door shut in Sprout's face. And it's Staehr against 4. 28 seconds on the clock. Timing may actually haunt karrigan a bit here because Staehr wanders out on B. karrigan thinks he's got everything held down. And there you go. First kill. Bomb plant definitely can come in off the back of that as well. Not if it's planted that side. broky, he finds his 3rd. A hat trick for him. A full house between ropz and the big man. And that gives FaZe Clan 8. And the sort of half-buy pick and mix of the rifles saved alongside the USPs in the previous. I mean, the pistol's not needed. ropz and broky have everything between them.
Yeah, stunning, sumptuous, spectacular. broky, the Latvian leveler, bringing things back in favour quite comfortably of FaZe Clan. And what a round that is individually from him. Him and ropz combine to see things out in an emphatic fashion, which extends the lead once further to 4 rounds. And of course, guarantees that FaZe can have a lead at the half, which is the main confidence booster for them.
Twists. Starting to feel it, getting aggressive, getting in the face of Zyphon to find that first kill. And yet again, Sprout wants to take that cave control. If Staehr goes through that smoke, you are a dead man. Nade goes over the top and actually twists. Slip the net maybe. Flashbang blinding him. No one swings off the back of it. Now it's just a game of cat and mouse. Who swings what? Where do the kills come in? Great flashbang. ropz off guard, but Twist is able to bail him out. Not for long. Is he short-lived for this world? ropz now going to try and play the defensive game. In a 3 versus 3, lives need to be kept for FaZe.
It does get a little bit concerning, especially with a half HP of ropz. He's tucked in towards Cobby on mid. karrigan gonna tuck himself over towards Staehr. The site looking like there's possibility for them to rotate back over towards A. Even with a lack of donut control, there's a clear path through mid if they want to rotate back over. With 40 seconds to work with, they have to make a decision now.
And the smoke would be indicative that most of the resources are indeed towards B. broky's AWP, ropz's M4. And karrigan's knowledge, as well as his fragging power, certainly can deliver a 9th as it's karrigan to open things up. A poor long smoke. Bomb will be scooped up. broky goes aggressive. slaxz actually finding another. And it's ropz left in the clutch. Problem is, he's going to wait for the bomb to be half planted. It burns even more time for ropz to find the clutch. A 1 versus 2. And it's another multi-kill that gives FaZe another round. 5 ahead. It's 9-4.
Smart from ropz. You mentioned he kind of waited for that bomb to be half planted, then takes up a couple of pop shots, leaves 10 seconds on the clock, and it forces slaxz to be aggro there. It forces slaxz. He has no time to waste. He can't afford to try and isolate that fight. He has to go aggro up ramp, and, well, it's easy for ropz to kickstart things. Started really well for him in that round, and for him to see it out too in quite a comfortable fashion. Gotta say, I'm liking what I see here. Up to 9 for FaZe Clan. There's very few things you can say anymore about kind of a negative note over towards FaZe. There was, at the start, it was quite round for round. There was moments where Sprout were looking great, but I think we started to see the FaZe that we know and love, the #1 best ranked side in the world, show why they are the #1 ranked side in the world. Their ability to see out kind of rounds when they're not looking too favorable for them is proven to be a massive success factor going forward. 5-round lead now, and the buy over towards the T side is less than opportune. A double Galil set up to support the triple AK-47, and not the greatest util either.
Sprout, I mean, they've not done a bad job on the T side. To get 4 rounds, it's okay. Ideally, 5 and 6 would put them in a prime position. karrigan finding the opener. Let's get traded by lauNX, and the spam through the wall. Of course, it's Rain, the mastermind in cave. Tries to lob the nade through. Is successful. broky's AWP finding another. And Sprout just getting plucked apart. One by one, they fall. Zyphon finding really good timing and space towards A. That bomb is going to make its way around, but I think FaZe, they'll start to think about it, and the hunch would be maybe they have information that they shouldn't, that it is indeed A, and broky wanders in, finds out firsthand. Zyphon's in CT.
Yeah, that tempts the rotation now. They've got all the info they need. They know they've lost control of the A side. It's a question of how do FaZe replay this? Do they go into the back line? Twist needs to be careful. Messy spray, but slaxz makes it work. Twist's falling, brings it back to a 2 versus 2, and from a 2-man advantage, Sprout have got a real good opportunity here.
I'm pretty sure Rain would have spotted Zyphon then.
Yeah.
And that's why he's wandered into Donut. Problem is he's given away the ruse that he's there making noise, jumping around. Rain, is he holding it? No, he's not. Not in time at least. Zyphon finding a second. And it's another ropz 1v2 required. They don't know where he's coming from. And if they say double haul, you'd be correct in assuming it. slaxz is going for the bomb plant. It isn't denied, but ropz whittling down to the 1v1. But Zyphon hits the shot. And Sprout back on the board. It's a 5th to their name. And the clutch from ropz this time goes missing. 9-5, last of the half up next. And no money for FaZe, really, to put a 10th on the board here.
That's great from Zyphon. I mean, all he has to do is buy time. That is the most simple factor in the backlines, causing problems. Refocusing attention as well if FaZe can, to kind of hard focus on him and buy some time for slaxz to rotate back in. Once the bomb goes down, though, things are set up so well. For ropz, something special needed, this time not found. 5 rounds to Sprout. They want to see things out at a 9-6 half, which all things considered actually isn't too bad for a T-side of Ancient.
Rain blinds. It does find one. lauNX to trade. 4 versus 4. karrigan tries to get cozy with the smoke. slaxz going to make that a very uncomfy stay. broky moving in as well, just trying to shimmy himself behind the smoke, wondering, does Sprout want to get aggressive? Do they want to try and make the Stewie 2K play? The answer is no. Twist's going to make his way through middle as well. So a multi-prong retake required here from FaZe Clan to find 10. It's the last of the half. You might as well go for it. ropz already dropped. broky and Twist's left now to make do with what they can. It's looking like a 6th on the board is coming, though, for Sprout.
Not about half. I mean, to be perfectly honest, with how things were panning out, it was looking like FaZe were going to see them out double digits quite comfortably, but no. Sprout, off the back of a 2 versus 4, have really started to find some success. A 9-6 at the half really isn't too shabby for how things are panning out for Sprout. Of course, the most important thing is FaZe have a 3-round lead at the half. If they kickstart their T-side with some good form, we could be in for a map going the way of the #1 best side of the world. We'll have to wait and see how things pan out, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see you after the break where we delve into more details of how FaZe can fare up on their T-side. We'll see you after the break. the half, 9-6 isn't too bad for Sprouts when we have to take into the fact that, you know, things were looking pretty rough on their T side. Of course, now they go on to the much better CT side on the most CT side of the map in the pool. This is a real good opportunity for Sprout to potentially take their map pick. But we have to remember, FaZe have a 3-round lead.
You got to remember it's FaZe.
And that's also true.
Staehr, slaxz getting aggressive, getting deleted. Twist finding the opener. I mean, Rain tries to bait out the shots. Twist doesn't hold up his end of the deal, which is swing behind me, play for the trade. slaxz going to walk away with a leaping Rain in his crosshair. Ultimately getting themselves a 4 versus 4. Bringing those numbers back is exactly what Sprout needed. Being on that CT side, a pistol here would really push that campaign to make things look a little more interesting than what the average pundit at home would expect. You know, I see you on the HLTV forums saying, oh, easy 2-0 FaZe clan. Mate, you can never be too sure. Sprout with 6 T rounds is no number to stick your nose up at.
Yeah, I mean, that is pretty good on one of the more C-channel maps in the pool. 6 on T-side isn't bad. In comes the util over towards A, and this is where FaZe want to take face right now. They haven't cleared Zyphon. Yes, they have. Twist, he's too aware.
Bomb plant. slaxz is in the back lines. 4v3. This could be massive. broky turns, but it doesn't stop slaxz from finding a double. It's 3 in the round. It's ropz against 3. And FaZe clan now going to need to try and hope that ropz can find this diffuser. It's happening. Refresh isn't going to get stopped. And lauNX to take his head off. That's 7 for Sprout.
slaxz, the little sneaky snake. Where did he come from? Out of main, coming out of nowhere. He's easily able to find a double off the back of the plant. I mean, that's so well played from him. All he had to do was buy a little bit of time. It's so well played. Finds his first one towards broky is great. The second transferring over towards Twist opens up a space for those guys in CT who are smoked out to rotate their way back in. And then all they had to do was play the numbers game in towards Donut, right? And it's very simple, very effective. But one man's brilliance gives Sprout a 7.
Nades going off early by Sprout. Trying to give similar treatment than what FaZe did to them. Early nade damage, early pressure, early consequences. I like this. Twists. How has he pulled an AK out? Well, he's bought armor as well. There's no way he got 3.7k because he can get a knife kill. He doesn't have an AK anymore either. As easy as you like for the M4A1S of Zyphon, who goes aggressive. Doesn't fall back as you would expect, or at least maybe FaZe could. Do they read into this Zyphon positioning? karrigan's got the AK next. Looking to punish, catching the boost, catching the triple Zyphon. On for the ace, will he be denied? karrigan finding one, but of course Zyphon makes it flawless. It's 5 for him, it's an ace, it's a very nice round. And sure, it was against an eco, but there was one AK in the mix that really could have turned happiness to sadness. Unfortunately, every single player neutralized by the A defender. Zyphon, brilliant round.
Really good. I mean, so little you can say. On a negative note, over towards Sprout, really well played. You know, when that Copenhagen Flames roster disbanded and they all went their separate ways, I felt like Zyphon was a little bit of a forgotten star. And I'm glad he's found his home at Sprout because it allows him to have a lot of flexibility in his playstyle. And it allows him to shine. Really well played. 14 kills to his name already. He's starting to make a statement here against the best team in the world, as it's only a 1-round deficit.
Flash lobbed out. karrigan looking for mid-control. And will be rewarded with it here, FaZe clan. It's just about what they do with it. Struggled in sight, executes. Got the bomb plant in the pistol. Second, couldn't even step on A. slaxz going to be given very similar treatment. Holds the spray and rewarded with a double. karrigan late lurk also delivering. Heads are rolling towards Red Room. Refresh and Staehr cut out of the equation. And quite clearly, this is a round that either side can win. Brilliant delivery for the double from karrigan. Equally so for slaxz. Both players still in equations. Both players brilliant, probably feeling pretty hot after that as well.
Bomb still dropped though, and that's the biggest kind of facet of strength over towards Sprout. They've got the bomb in their control. karrigan's got a bit of information of lauNX in towards the backline. Zyphon to fall though. slaxz goes 1 for 1. Rain traded out. The numbers still on a level standing, and less than 30 seconds to work with to collect the bomb and make a push towards the side. And they have other ideas. lauNX sees it out with a double to his name for Sprout to tie up this game.
That's brilliant. And look at the money it knocks as well, right? That was a full buy for FaZe. So well played. Sprout now equalised 9-all. Eco for the T side as well. I mean, I don't want to say it, but I think we're all thinking it. Sprout. Your map pick. This is your chance to shine. Was 9 enough for FaZe Clown on their CT side? Great smoke on top of the molly. karrigan. Gotta be careful not to get caught out to the spam. Staehr chucks in a nade out of sheer panic. A smoke as well to give him some distance. What a shot by karrigan.
What do they do off the back of it? M4A1S in the hands of the IGL. slaxz gonna rotate back over towards Temple. Try and deny some presence. Is he gonna post up in the open? He will. A nice open angle nets him one. He will fall back towards main. Gives them the space, but they walk straight into the trap of slaxz.
Nicely taken care of broky and ropz. karrigan still waiting. Refresh could be next into the guillotine, but he knows body shots would make the difference. It's a Rain 1v3. This Deagle, it can be on rails for Rain. In this round, it's soaked up by lauNX. 10-9. Sprout lead. And everyone at home, I'm guessing, is like, dude, you know, FaZe on the C stream, what's going on? I think because they're playing best of ones on the A and B stream still. But why does it matter about the stream, mate? Because this is still a banger of a game to be watching. 9-10. The cogs are only just starting to turn here for both teams. Of course, it's a best of 3. Winner, guaranteed a slot in Rio. That's exactly what they're fighting for here. And Sprout definitely giving them a run for their money. A lot more than maybe people would have expected.
Yeah, and you know, going into this game as well, I kind of said, you know, statistically speaking, the way this one's panning out, it looks like this is posturing towards a 3-mapper. Just because, you know, 4 for 4, Sprout 100% win rate coming in towards this game compared to FaZe. It's not looking too pretty. They've played it 8 times with a 38% win rate. You get a little bit concerned. However, the other facet is the caliber of teams that FaZe been playing. But they are on a 5-map losing streak. Charlotte's, Outsiders, Cloud9, Na'Vi, OG. It isn't the most comfortable of showings from them. And we're starting to see the gaps in what is the #1 best side in the world starting to reign through quite supremely right now. One-way smoke in towards mid. Shows the legs. Staehr got a lot of space though out towards ramp. They deny all of this T-side presence.
This is really well played by Sprout. Not giving FaZe any room whatsoever to work with. Spam isn't too bad. It's more of a warning. Poses a threat rather than a kill. 1:10 on the clock. Still so much time to work with here for FaZe and lots of util to boot. For Sprout, they feel very in control. And I'd like to point out in this moment of downtime, Refresh has 3 kills, right? And Sprout are still winning this game. lauNX and slaxz, 21 and 20, respectively, in the kill department. Talk about a stellar game, especially from someone as young as lauNX. He is having a monster performance against FaZe.
Stepping up. Experience well above his years, that's safe to say. Rain gonna find Staehr though, another youngster. This time dropped to the hands of the experience of Rain, the Norwegian. Brilliant shot from him. And that opens up the proceedings. Opening kill, man advantage in favor of the T-side of FaZe, and Twist will add one more. The IGL of karrigan steps up for yet a piece of the pie, but this time he makes it a double.
And slaxz, left scratching his head. What on earth just happened to my team? We had such comfort on B with deep control. I thought we had mid under wraps. I was just left to solo hold A. And every single one of my teammates is now dropped. 5 AKs is enough to dismantle Sprout. And if I'm honest, considering FaZe Clan up until this point hadn't won a single round in this second half. It was what? 4 consecutive rounds for Sprout after going 9-6 down. They have little to no money to work with whatsoever here. I mean, lauNX is the only man really with cash in his back pocket to rebuy. Staehr, Refresh, Zyphon. It's going to be MP9s or FAMASs. No questions about that.
You know, ropz is in play. It's a silver lining in what is a bad situation. A Sprout get pulled apart, they lose their Angels. It's as simple as that. Angels not one. karrigan able to double down, so the lack of a trade causes a problem, but much better. Good actually call for Sprout to call for their 4th tactical timeout. They've burned all 4 now, which means that if things start to get a little bit dicey in the latter stages, they won't have any way of stopping this momentum or stopping the train that is FaZe, which we already know is very, very difficult to stop. But so far, so good. I think this is all right for Sprout. I know we mentioned the buy coming in towards round number 21 isn't the best. They probably all opt for a pretty low buy. I mean, lauNX potentially going for a slight force, upgrade a pistol, a bit of armor maybe, but you know, the grand scheme is stick around that 2k marker above and just try and rely and hope that slaxz can find a bit of individual brilliance, drop a rifle or two.
lauNX 21 and 14. And for those that are late bloomers to the C stream, first of all, where have you been for the first 20 rounds? Second of all, we've already had this debate and discussion. Messaging Mr. lauNX, the man himself, and he says, you say the name like you would say F and X, but instead of the F, it's law.
Yeah.
So
I'll chat with him, and that's what he wants. So, you know, we'll abide by his wishes.
Yeah, of course. Great shot from the AWP of slaxz to kick things off. Unfortunately, a little bit of concrete sits in his way. Only the tag, ropz to 37 points of health. FaZe Clan with much better weaponry in this round can kind of afford to wind up with a few disadvantages. karrigan out on the site. A little bit too aggressive for my liking. Not with his team either. Giving away a rifle, more crucially, giving away information maybe that this is going to be a bit of a B play. Oh, what a molly from Rain. And ropz finding another. slaxz missed shot. There we go. Back to normality now. It's all well and good for FaZe Clan.
There we go. Wrap over towards the A site. Nice and comfortable bomb to get planted down. Refresh with a USPS and a slow start from him. I can't really expect too much to come from it. I expect this just to be, if he can play for X's, that'll be great, but I keep hold of what he's got, which really isn't too much. The priority is just Staehr's AK-47 transferring across and towards the next round. Better from FaZe. They had the better firepower. They made it work, and they've converted it into 11th on the board. They've regained the lead, and now it's a question of keeping it, continuing for this to go in their favor. But so far, I think so good. There's very little you can kind of, you know, deep dive in towards this round. It was just a low buy for Sprout. They only had the AWP in play. lauNX had a slight buy around it with the deagle, the armor, but, you know, in the grand scheme, there wasn't really too much to deliberate on. This should have been around in favor of FaZe, and it was. Not made too expensive as well. Only losing the life of karrigan is pretty good. 11-10. A slim lead gained.
Starting to maybe find their identity here, FaZe on Ancient. Of course, as you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screens, it's Ancient, which is the pick of Sprout. CT side second. Definitely did pay off in the beginning, but FaZe now starting to realise the opponent they're playing against. karrigan, arguably one of the best IGLs in the world. Starting to figure out exactly how Sprout want to play their CT side. A full buy, of course, for the German organ for the Danish core. They try and orchestrate themselves back to a level scoreline. 11-all is the idea. In reality, they're going to need a lot more than just speaking it into existence to try and make the magic happen.
Spamming through as well. Staehr needs to be cautious. He's taking a bit of tag damage. Going to fall off the angle. Rain, we know how good he is on CT side when he's playing in towards that cave/construction area. And equally as good on T side, it seems. Going to wait up. Swiss can rotate back in towards mid. We've seen around a decent amount of mid control coming through. And with the control he's got now, it allows for a split over towards B.
Having a look. AWP of broky. Kicking things off once more. lauNX going to be giving some space behind the molly. Zyphon thought he could have been good for more. It's only the one. Rain now late lurking out towards B. Twists is going to catch out the young gun. Staehr now left on the site. Going to need a monster round performance from him. There's one. Spray transfer. It's tickle damage to karrigan and ropz. But at the end of the day, no further kills. And no further chance for Sprout to make it an equalizer. FaZe will take the reins and take the lead. It's going to be 12-10. Question is, what does Refresh do in this round? Does he want to save the FAMAS? Does he want to look for an upgrade or for damage? Got to do something. Question is, what does he decide to do. Looks like the former, not the latter. Keeping hold of that FAMAS is everything for him in this round, apparently.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's a pretty kind of big elephant in the room here in terms of what we've seen in terms of performances. Unfortunately, for Sprout, you know, a 3-14 it isn't good enough for a refresh. I think that is becoming a little bit costly now. He's really struggling to get himself on the board. karrigan is going to fall. That's the AWP no longer in play. And an AWP collected for a refresh.
Nice.
So positives to be taken there. But, I mean, the point still stands on what I was making, right? When you look towards that Sprout side, everyone seems to be finding, for the most part, a bit of success. Staehr a little bit quieter than usual. I guess it is one thing to mention. But, yeah, for refresh, I know he's IGLing, but the performance has been a little bit lackluster. Where you compare it to karrigan, 17-17, 70 ADR, he's been pretty decent himself. And that potentially is becoming quite a costly factor for Sprout. They're unable to get off the board because it's, at times, a little bit before versus 5.
slaxz getting in the faces of FaZe. It's rain to fall. Twists finding a first and a second twist. Trying to bait out with a molly as well. lauNX going to go a look in. Missed shot from the big green. Nade not exactly going to help him either. In the meantime, ropz looking for a presence, and I think he'll have it. Sprout are going to be very quick on their bikes, though, to try and catch off these rotations. As karrigan becomes the lurk, FaZe clan become the favourites, it feels like, to win the map. lauNX missed shot. Smoke in his face, probably going to leave the AWP save him. Problem is they're boxed in. karrigan's position just going to be strong. There's one. Staehr trades, as they do get away with a big green, but it's at the cost of another soul.
Potentially could be a hunt being called there, but from FaZe as well, if they want to go kind of searching for the AWP, it's not even probably too bad of an idea. Lovely bunny hopping from Zyphon, I gotta say. Nice and quickly will make his way away.
You can't move like that.
Absolutely not. Zyphon's no longer going to move as he's 6 feet under. broky's up, rains off and sees him out. A Staehr will be able to recollect, but can he keep it in play? I think that is the big question. I think a hunt's actually a pretty good idea for FaZe. You know, denying AWP being saved across means that they have a real good opportunity of just seeing this map out. And of course, this is Sprout's map pick. But no, he will keep it taken across. FaZe extend the lead to 3. 13-10. And what at the half was looking pretty good. You know, at one point we were tied all square, and the CT side performance with Sprout was really starting to show that they had a good idea about how to read in towards this FaZe side. It's falling behind now.
FaZe just looking to cut above, aren't they now? 3 rounds away from securing a step closer to Rio. Zyphon blinds karrigan, doesn't spot him. 4-3 is your issue. And he's not going to pull the trigger. Now he will. There's the first. No trade. karrigan trying to get inventive and aggressive out towards A, and Zyphon will be able to punish accordingly.
For now. Mid control again's being a real priority. Twist be actually very good at cutting down a lot of that space. While the numbers favour Sprout, control could be a problem. slaxz holding, missed shot, could get punished. Donut control becomes a little bit of a dicey affair. ropz on low HP needs to be careful, and refresh will find a kill for the first time in a long time.
3v5. Spam under the feet of twists, but into the jaws of lauNX. Rain the second to fall, and broky. Now, an unearthly clutch required. Good for one. That feels to be his middle name in this round. FaZe will eventually lose out on the T side. A good bit of momentum in their name, though, could definitely help on their way to success. lauNX going to defuse the bomb to find 11. And the gap is back down to 2. The chase is on for Sprout. Can they get it done?
Yeah, the youngster again. I mean, he has been a real shining, like 25-17. He's been stepping up massively into his own. He's going pound for pound with some of the biggest names in Counter-Strike history as well. And credit to him, at 17 years of age, he's playing well above his years, well above his experience. And, well, credit to him. He has absolutely no problems in terms of confidence on a LAN environment. 13-11, you mentioned hot on their tails, but a full buy coming out for FaZe Clan. And to mention as well, economy in the grand scheme isn't too much of an issue for them. They're pretty rich, especially that of ropz of 8.6k.
FaZe Still with the upper hand in this matchup. I mean, look at the money. ropz just shy of 9k. Rain 4k. Twists $2,100. We've got money. We've got a chance to reinvest. Hey, I've seen that flash. This is a good one to get into middle. Mr. Knot out here did a video demonstrating that. And it is just a flashbang that blinds anyone that's looking to try and hold down middle in general. Rain is making the noise in cave, trying to keep Sprout at bay from B. FaZe with this mid control can usher themselves towards the B site. So what was at least deceitfully the mid presence now becomes a bit of a B pop.
Util coming through. lauNX, we've already highlighted him many a time. We've sung his praises, and once further, he has to step up. Low HP on ropz does give them a good opportunity, but it's still 5 versus 5 as slaxz holds down the ramp position. If he hits a shot here, it buys some time and space for lauNX to find success, but the bomb will be able to go down.
Nicely done. First kill for lauNX, a second for slaxz. FaZe down to 3. Not ideal. Smoke going to be chucked in for the retake. broky getting aggressive with the AWP. This could actually catch everyone off guard as broky positions for a second. No way does another man walk into his crosshair. You can't afford to give broky these 1v1s. A smoke blocking vision. Zyphon trying to get in there. And he does go for the stick. This is a 5-second hold. No one's got it. No one's on it. Zyphon is denied in the plant though. And that is a brilliant round from FaZe. How do they get away with that? Cool from Twists to find the last. And both players survive. The bomb doesn't detonate. That is such an intense round. And it comes down to the finest of margins. But it is indeed FaZe Clan that walk away with 14. And it is Sprout that have one last chance on their map pick of Ancient to try and get themselves to a close one or to win out their pick of Ancient.
That was too close for comfort. But, of course, at 14 to 11, FaZe are just 2 steps away from taking Sprout's map pick.
What?
But karrigan gonna fall to the flames. It's Zyphon who opens up the proceedings with just a Molotov that is normally used to deny presence, but it works for an opener. slaxz holding now deep in towards Temple, forced off the angle, and he can't deny the crossover towards back flat.
Twists finding another though. Oh, I mean, that was audacious from slaxz hitting that flick. 4v4, another post plant. And this is just everything on the shoulders of these Sprout players now. It's like, do we go for this? If we lose it and we go for it, we have nothing to show for ourselves financially. They're going to wait for Refresh's flank to kind of get a little bit closer to home before they start going. Problem is, they've got no kits. I don't know why we're even going for this Sprout. There's just no time. Rain and ropz both with kills. slaxz's AWP will fall to the same fate. And now they realise the penny has dropped. There's just no time. And FaZe Clan with map point by means of elimination. No weapons, no chance for Sprout. It's 4 in a row, or they're sent packing from the Greenlands of Ancients.
And to make matters just that much worse, take a look at that bottom right corner, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the money. Not looking too comfortable over there. Long-term economy has been depleted, and they are left down to such a minuscule buy. A quad MP9 setup and a Mag 7 in the hands of Zyphon to try and deny FaZe Clan taking their map pick of Ancients. And it's safe to say that, while it's not impossible, it's pretty improbable.
4 in a row. I mean, had you have asked for it at the start of the half, they did it. You know, it was doable. But with 4 MP9s and a Mag 7 on Zyphon, OT is looking very, very unlikely. And I would even use the word impossible. And that's the great thing about Counter-Strike Global Offensive, is that impossible is never really impossible. It's just highly, highly improbable. And for Sprout, it really is just one of those situations. Minimal utility, 1 kit used for the post plant. A minute for FaZe to work out, to concoct an idea on where they want to execute.
And what's the plan here? How do they want to try and make this one work? I think they're very cautious of there potentially being that lower economy gamble stack coming through from Sprout, and that is actually the right course, the right idea, but they still want to play just the aggressive fight over towards ramp. This could get diced. A refresh taking the first point of contact, but it's a bit of a trident setup. lauNX and Staehr just in behind. Refresh will swing. The IGL finding damage, but no kill. For him to fall, the numbers favour FaZe Clan. 4 kills to find before they take the map pick of Sprout in this best of 3 for qualification towards Rio.
ropz finding Zyphon. It's 3 now left. The rotate is happening. Both teams make the race to A. 17 seconds to plant the bomb. And a flank from slaxz here could be enough to deny Rain. He's taken down. It's taps. broky with another Staehr finding a second. Can he find the bomb? No, 5 seconds. lauNX certainly can. And with karrigan being nowhere to be seen, it's a 12th on the board for Sprout. How have they managed this one? And it's a kill after time. lauNX to pick up an AK and to pick up a 12th. A very crucial 12th at that for Sprout.
They've survived the scare somehow. I don't know how they've made that work in their favor. And I think that's just a testament to how maybe the negative side of FaZe Clan of overthinking things. I mean, as much as you hate to say it, it was just a case of them really overthinking the proceedings there. If they had just played the numbers game, just played the trades out towards B RAM, that would have been a comfortable in their favor. They find refresh. Then it's a 2 versus 4 in terms of that aggression over towards RAM, and they double back, and that becomes so costly. Zyphon's got other ideas, tucking in close, Mag 7, it's a left eye peek, but it doesn't bother broky at all. Zyphon to fall opens a clear path to the A site.
slaxz gonna try and hold things down, does so. Orp with the first and a second. slaxz bomb dropped as well. A good double, trying to make it 3. karrigan will deny. And now it's all back up in the air. lauNX with karrigan. Dead to right, broky and Rain. But what better duo to have in this situation than they themselves, Rain. The first of 3 found. broky wandering into the site. Had a space to plant the bomb. Re-smoke towards CT. Planted for donut. And both players from FaZe will hold on. Staehr with a smoke. Refresh with the kit. It's 2 versus 2. It's not looking likely, but Staehr to breathe some life back into this round. And the Rain clutch required. The smoke used in the unconventional demeanor as Staehr finds them both. 15-13. And I'm getting Boston flashbacks already, Neo, because there's a certain chance now that if Sprout can keep this momentum, keep this charisma about them, that FaZe could be second best. A bomb plant will keep them afloat, but it's going to have to be an eco for the last. Round 29, sure it's map point, but it's going to be pistols for the European side.
Individuals stepping up into their own regard, and slaxz a sumptuous double to open things up lightning fast to find ropz in that second kill too. But overextensions become costly. It gives Staehr a double to close things out. And as you mentioned, for FaZe Clan, it is just going to be a low buy to play for the last. They have slightly invested into it in terms of the upgraded pistols, a good amount of armor and utilities. They are playing for at least the chance, but this is going to be tough. Util burn over towards ramp, and they might just play aggro over towards B.
FaZe, they're going to give it some pace towards B, really some welly as they execute onto the site. lauNX will welcome karrigan jumping into his crosshair. A second for lauNX, his 32nd on the server. Staehr will take another. lauNX with the last, a hat trick for the big man. The top fragger on the server is delivering in every regard. 33 kills against the best in the world. And they are 1 round away from forcing an overtime. It will be FaZe's 3rd in 3. If Sprout are able to push it out to a full 30.
Yeah, we saw karrigan as well yesterday saying about how they just sort of need that extra 5% to see out games, and they kind of struggled to do so. And this is another prime example. They've had many an opportunity to see out this game. And again, looking like potentially they might be unable to do so. It's a triple Galil setup, double AK, and a bit of utility to work with. But all things considered, this really isn't the most comfortable abide. karrigan back in towards mid, gonna try and take a little bit of face. I gotta say, Retro, I'm a bit concerned about FaZe. Again, failing to see out a game in a manner in which they had a lot of opportunities to do so.
It all boils down to this one. 15-14. How close to FaZe like cutting it? Well, historically speaking, it's 4 overtimes against Gamer Legion. 1 in their second matchup. Could be 1 in Ancient here as well. On a knife's edge here, Sprout. Certainly will be feeling the nerves. 55 seconds, another smoke deployed. Another few seconds bought here for Sprout. They are just waiting for FaZe to make the move. They are waiting for them to make the play. What is this from Refresh? The gamble in round 30 to go pushing. They know it's B. They know what's up. And now it's just about the hold. A great kill from Rain. Staehr turning away. And Rain getting aggressive. lauNX with a first and a second lauNX. No way does he go for any more. Finally taken out. But Zyphon's all finding karrigan. And it's a 3v2. Sprout have the numbers. Sprout have the chance. It's ropz and broky now down to ropz. And the Estonian needs to find it all. Sprout with composure. We go to overtime.
Who would have thought it? I mean, with how things are setting up, FaZe, they were one notch away, and another example where FaZe failed to see a game out due to the finest of margins. And this is becoming a constant affair. I mean, what makes FaZe so great is their ability to, you know, slog out games when potentially they maybe shouldn't have been as close as they are. But another example, they are now 3 for 3 in terms of maps and overtime in this RMR. And that is going to become a point where they're unable to convert it. And potentially this could be that point. We are going to throw this one to a break, ladies and gentlemen. When we are back, the first rounds of overtime get underway. See you in a moment.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is all on the line for FaZe Clan. It's their third overtime in 3 games to their run up to Rio. And this time it's against Sprout, and this time it's in the 2-0 category. Of course, it is a best of 3. I'm Retro, joined by Naokai, taking you through the action on the C stream. Yes, what the hell? FaZe Clan on C stream? KW? No, don't worry. It's because the other streams have got the best of ones on as well. So if you want to go and check those out in unison, I do believe squad mode is now enabled. You can go and run those up, check those out. Basically, have a day of Counter-Strike, but your eyes 100% drawn here. Sprout, another underdog story. They were 2-0 here in the Swiss stage, and they're looking to make it 3-0. FaZe Clan, they've got their work cut out for them here on Ancient.
FaZe? Overtime? No, you must be kidding. FaZe in overtime. It's a match made in heaven so far, and Staehr stepping up in towards excavation to open up the proceedings. Rain or fall. There's the numbers looking pretty. for Sprout as they take a 5 versus 4. But karrigan's got a good idea. Refresh tucked in close. Swinging in. The flash will catch him. A messy spray and Refresh punishes. And Zyphon goes 1 for 1.
And FaZe Clan starting to get dismantled on that T side. broky follows similar fate to Staehr's A1S. And ropz against 4. Another clutch required from him. It was a 1v3 to keep them out in overtime. And a 1v4 required here. This time Staehr makes it 3. And it is Sprout in front. 16-15 now. I don't quite believe it.
I know. And, you know, what we've seen previously from FaZe, of course, this is their 3rd overtime in 3 maps played. They're opening 2 best of 1s. Region. Then yesterday against Fnatic on Nuke, they saw things out in just 1 OT. However, what we have seen is that FaZe love an overtime. Fair enough. But what has made FaZe great is their ability to slog through some pretty rough games, but see them out nonetheless. This is where things could be on a different matter, because Sprout, good start from them, and a stable start on CT side might beg the question of too little too late for FaZe on the opening map in this best of 3.
Staehr laying down the law here in Cave. Giving it some good spam. Rain smoked off. Staehr just going to try and provide as much cover as he can for his teammates as best as he can. As mid looks to be bartered for by FaZe. Well, actually give it up for free. Refresh is able to walk away with the life, and I guess that's the advantage for Rain. He's caught out completely. For Twists, it's a trade. karrigan had a molly set up, didn't expect the swing from the young Dane, and actually Sprout to walk away with a 4v4 isn't the worst situation considering the player they dropped is Rain, who has had pretty big impact for FaZe here on this map so far.
Yeah, I mean, for me, Rain seems like one of those kind of consistent factors over towards the FaZe Clan side. And as you mentioned, yeah, by dropping him out of the count, this really does open up the proceedings ever so slightly. slaxz and a double back, a double flash, in fact, though, forced him into a little bit more of a passive approach, and full blind lauNX has no idea.
ropz, oh my god, Twists as well getting aggressive. It's slaxz to return the favour through the smoke. AK against AWP. You know exactly which gun's going to win that engagement. ropz looks away just as the smoke fades, and Refresh makes it his 8th. But it could be a very crucial kill. Chiggling out, trying to bait the AWP. broky's lulled into it. But karrigan, it's karrigan trying to hold things down. But it's a broky 1v2. One from short, one from cave. The spam connects for a single shot. slaxz wanders on him with the AWP. broky missed shot, has to wait for the rifle. broky with one, dancing back and forth between the pillar. With ice in his veins, broky, waiting for the push, waiting for the peak. And of course, broky has it. Of course he does it. It's 16 all. And broky's AWP delivers face back for FaZe.
The legend of Latvia stepping up once again. We saw him do it early in the first half, and once further, broky has tooth and nail dragged this side to success, and what a individual brilliant performance that is. We'll take another look. I mean, to isolate the fights is something, but broky, lightning fast. This is unbelievable. slaxz, try as you might. broky will step forth for a monster play there for himself. FaZe Clan tie things up 16 apiece. And no matter what happens over towards FaZe, broky is keeping the conversation nice and open.
Minute 30. Time is going to be something that FaZe Clan need to cherish, need to hold on to, need to succeed with. Spam. Oh, good. It's alright. Rain. Some damage to Staehr. It's a back and forth engagement through the wall. One in which the FaZe look to profit from. Rain can't quite convert. It's all too tentative on Cave. A minute left, and FaZe, they only now resume control of the map. Mid is theirs. Cave is theirs. Nothing towards A. But fortunately, no one from Sprout holding it down either. So this is a pure engagement towards middle. I feel like whoever walks away with a man advantage here, really good chance of winning this round. But beneath and between the smokes, they wander out middle. For FaZe, it's an execute towards B. For Staehr, it's a boost to try and have a look towards long. karrigan tucked himself in. 35 seconds. They've got a bit of move on. Twists. Oh, mate, this is the flank that makes or breaks it for FaZe. No one's holding, no one's looking, but he's going to go towards A. He has nothing to do with B. Oh, did slaxz spot him? He definitely does now. First shot connects. Now they want to aggress towards B, but now Twist finds a second. Do they expect ropz line in wait? Staehr, flashed maybe. 15 seconds, the bomb's got to cross. broky's got to get out with that C4. And it's the spam. It's karrigan. It's missed shots galore. Staehr on the back of the side, finding a second for Sprout. And lauNX with the third. It's ropz against 2. There's no time. There's no chance. It's Sprout 17, FaZe 16. And the CT side take the lead.
It's the youngsters. The story of the youngsters of Sprout stepping up. Staehr and lauNX. What a performance from them. Over towards that B site, just locking down the fort, outplaying some of the smartest brains within CSGO just off the back of sheer aggression, and it worked oh so brilliantly. At the half, Sprout take a tentative one-round lead, but it's a lead nonetheless, and that is all that matters. For FaZe, you've probably got to make the assumption and the guess that things are starting to get slightly dicey in that affair. They are struggling to regain control of this game.
Man, am I enjoying this one. What a back and forth this is. Brilliant from Staehr, who's had a very quiet game, might I say, for Sprout. He's 19 and 22. Those 2 kills on the B site, probably the most important of the lot. I thought that flank from ropz was going to deliver something quite special. Instead, second best. And it's twists out towards middle to try and kickstart the campaigns of FaZe here on that CT side. Greatly placed HE. ropz taking refresh down to 45 points of health. He tries to escape the clutches of middle. Rain trying to apply some pressure towards B. It's all in the hands of FaZe right now.
A little bit of chip damage. Refresh down to 45 points of HP. Not the end of the world, all things considered, but definitely an opener which FaZe can be slightly proud of. Bit of information, bit of util damage coming through too. But for now, a slower tempo. I don't think FaZe need to do anything too overzealous. I don't think they can afford to either. You know, an overextension here, gifting Sprout on 18th. They're one step away from taking their map pick. And of course, then opening that conversation that we mentioned about of it being a win factor. We'll have to wait and see. Either way, 50 seconds to work with. Still posted just outside of that B site.
45 on the clock. FaZe, oh, gotta be careful. Staehr had the lineup. Dinking karrigan actually through the wall. He's going to back away and try and create the false sense of security that he's given up cave in its entirety. Rain sits in the corner though. And this is where things could get dicey. Does Staehr check his angles? No, he does not. And Rain wanders in for the first. slaxz trying to hold things down. Zyphon, he's going to take down karrigan. Rain's got a second. Does he get the reload off in time? No. slaxz to close the gap, but Twists has got it covered. ropz to the last. It's FaZe 17, Sprout 17.
That's great. Opening kill provides to be so important. Again, I've already mentioned about how great Rain is as playing that cave position. He's so good at isolating fight. And then as we saw in that situation, doubling him down. Of course, it forces the orb of slaxz to go aggro. Does convert the no-scope. But, you know, as it panned out, FaZe going to tie this game up. Of course, in OT number 1, the magic number we're looking for is 19. And has to be a flawless showing from either of these two sides to find it. Or else, of course, we go towards OT number 2. Something which FaZe Clan know all too well about.
Had to do him like that, did you?
Sometimes it has to be done.
It's okay. Missed nade from Rain. Second one lobbed in. Staehr. Hey, I'll tell you what. If FaZe really want to get a man advantage, watching this one back, they're going to go, dude, how many times has he played that position, Staehr? Walks right up to the pixel angle, has a look through. See what's up. Nothing. Twists has got mid-control of his own. FaZe in the meantime. Want to play things slow, play things off of contact.
Yeah, I don't think realistically, you know, FaZe needs to be too aggro right now. FaZe are going to take a little bit of a mid-aggression coming through, and Rain going to tuck himself back into that spot in which he found a double from earlier. But Twists lurk. He's oh so cautious. The flank coming back out of main, but will he be spotted by refresh? Surely he is. Will he convert the kill though? Messy spray. Does want to take FaZe again. If he does, it could be costly, and Twist will punish.
And he knows his way out. broky with another. Twists does go back aggressive, taken down. karrigan's got an AUG for some reason. Didn't even spot that on the info in the bottom left. But he's able to find a kill anyway. slaxz and Staehr. 2 versus 4. Does not good look. Does not look good, excuse me, for FaZe here. It's great. Sprout 17. Map point to FaZe Clan.
Credit. to him, you know. It's not really in the meta anymore, the AUG, but I gotta say, actually, when it's not scoped, the AUGs actually are still a pretty good weapon. The fire rate's not been as, you know, massively affected the way the SG has, and when it's unscoped, the spray control is pretty comfortable, you know, in the grand scheme. So I don't blame him too much. Yeah, he makes it work, so fair play. Map point for FaZe. We've seen them in this position multiple times in towards regulation. The question is, this time, in OT number 1, can they see it out to take Sprout's pick of Ancient and go into their pick of Nuke with a nice, healthy notch under their belt?
That's what they're looking for. It's a Tech 9 on Refresh and a Deagle on slaxz. That's the kind of desperation we're seeing from Sprout here, of course. For those at home that are wondering, this is the Valve rulebook, so you only get 10k for these OTs, and for ropz, 10k's enough. 2 kills might just be enough for FaZe, because he's got the bomb as well. Last 3 out towards B, they tried to play a default. ropz will be screaming, I've got the C4. Rain going for the spam through the smoke, but I don't think it matters what Sprout have to offer here. karrigan finding lauNX. Staehr and Refresh against it. Now it's just 1 against 5. And FaZe, we said it, they like their overtimes, but we know FaZe Clan as the cool, composed collective. And while it does take some time, 19 to their name, it's map 1 in the bag for FaZe. They deliver, sure in overtime, but they deliver nonetheless. A brilliant job. lauNX, though, what a game from him. Although they lose out 19-17, it was a game and a half from him. I think 40 bombed in the end. An unbelievable set of overtimes here coming in. But FaZe, they're able to take map 1. Can they get it done on their pick of Nuke? We find out after the break. Don't go anywhere. We're back after this.